Hey guys, Sith Lord 310 here with a new video. My 10 favorite movies of 2016. These are the movies I think are the best movies out of 2016. Now, the year of 2016 was very disappointing with big blockbuster movies, but we had actually a lot of great either indie movies or small dramatic pieces. I think so. So first, let's start off the list with some honorable mentions. First, The Accountant, Sully, Jackie, Sing Street, and Birth of a Nation. Now, I need to talk about Birth of a Nation. I really enjoyed this movie, and it really would have made my list, probably in the top five. But the controversy with the director behind the scenes of this movie, it really made it hard for me to enjoy this movie for what it was. I know I'm supposed to separate the artist from the art, but it was really hard for me to do that while watching this movie. And I hope that the award committees can do that. But yeah, I just wish I just had to mention that. Okay, guys, let's get into the actual list now. Number 10, Deadpool. Deadpool's a fresh take on a superhero movie. In an age where we have a ton of superhero movies, this movie felt fresh. It was something new, and the marketing campaign for this is probably the best I've seen for any movie, hands down. I really enjoyed this movie, and I really think Ryan Reynolds and Wade Wilson are pretty much the same person. I think Ryan Reynolds embodies the character of Deadpool perfectly, better than he's probably one of the best actors who portrays a superhero in any movie. He's up there in the talks with Hugh Jackman as Wolverine and Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man. Number 9, The Nice Guys. The Nice Guys is a really underrated movie, and it's really underseen. No one really saw this movie. I really enjoyed this movie. I thought it was a really fun comedy that went by most people. When this movie was out in theaters and people asked me what should I go see this weekend, I told them to watch Nice Guys because I really wanted this movie to get more attention because it wasn't getting any. It did okay, you could say, at the box office, but honestly, I just wish, for the level of enjoyment I had in this movie, I just wish more people would have seen it. Number 8, Civil War, Captain America Civil War. This movie is probably the best comic book movie of the year. This one and Deadpool really defined the year, in my opinion. With great new characters like Spider-Man and Black Panther. And we finally got the climax of the tension that's been building between Iron Man and Captain America since the first Avengers. And it really pays off. And the movie, even though there's a bunch of superheroes, it still feels like a Captain America movie. And I can't wait to see what they do next with the characters in the following standalone movies and eventually Avengers Infinity War. Number 7, Star Wars: A Rogue One Story. This movie, again, if you saw my review of the movie, you see that I really enjoyed this movie. I had minor problems with it because I don't think the characters were fleshed out enough, or we had enough about their backstory, but I still really enjoyed the movie. It puts the war in Star Wars. The action scenes in this movie are shot amazingly. I love the way the movie looks. It feels like a war movie. And the character of Jyn Erso quickly became one of my favorites, along with K2SO and Chirrut Îmerê. Now, I also have to mention, I don't want to spoil the movie for people who haven't seen it, but the ending of this movie fits perfectly into episode 4. And that's one of the things I was scared of with this movie, that it wouldn't fit perfectly into episode 4, and it would just taint my viewing experience of it. But it actually added to my viewing experience of episode 4. And all I gotta say is Darth Vader in this movie. It's just all I have to say. If you've seen the movie, Darth Vader, hands down. Number 6. Now, for number 6, I put a tie, mainly because I cannot separate the two movies. I couldn't put my list is too tight that I couldn't take one out or add one as another slot, so I put them together. Moonlight and Manchester by the Sea. Let's first go into Moonlight. It's probably the best indie movie of the year. I really think it is. I really enjoyed this movie. Again, without not spoiling it, it truly touches isolation in a way that usually isn't shown in films. Now, if you're ever, away from your family or distant from your family, you realize that you really enjoy this movie because it really touches on the isolation factor of it. It makes you feel for the character, and you really feel what the character is feeling. Now, for Manchester by the Sea, I think this movie, the selling point of this movie is Casey Affleck. Casey Affleck carries the film. It's a pretty sad movie, but it's one of those sad movies where you watch it and then it makes you appreciate the little things that you have in your life way more than you ever have before. Number 5, we're getting to the halfway point here with Hacksaw Ridge. Mel Gibson returns with an amazing peace and war movie, or war and peace movie. I don't know what you want to call it as, but this movie is great. It's a Mel Gibson war movie, so you know the action scenes and the war scenes are brutal, and they really depict the brutality of war really well. And that's true with this movie as well. Andrew Garfield, he really delivers as the main character, and you see his progression through the story, or not progression, I guess you could say. Spoiler alert. I mean, if you know the history of this living person, well, you know that he goes to the whole war without killing, and it's true that Andrew Garfield really portrayed this character really well. You saw him struggle with his morals. He knew that he couldn't break his ethics, and that came out really well in the movie. And I just love the way Andrew Garfield portrayed this character, and it just shows that he's a top level actor. Number 4, Hell or High Water. Another, I would say, underseen movie of the year. This movie is a lot of fun, and it's also a really good movie. It has the chaos of a western, but with the themes of loyalty, loss, and redemption are woven into the film really well. Chris Pine and Ben Foster have great chemistry, and it truly carries the film. Their banter, they're just them two alone. It really makes you understand the story, and it really makes you see that this movie is something that people need to see, and it really didn't get seen as much. Number 3, Silence. This film touches a very controversial topic. Anytime a movie involves religion to any point, it is subject to offending someone or getting a lot of backlash from the religious communities. Now, let me just say, I am not the most religious person, but to keep that out of the video, I'm not going to talk much about that, but it plays off it well. You watch a movie, and it's never completely bashing you over the head with the religious topics. It's never like, oh, you need to follow this. It never is trying to shove it into your face about the religion in the movie. You see both points of view, and you get a real sense that Scorsese has a very tight respect for the source material of this movie, and he has such a passion for this movie. It really shows into the film, and it's just overall a really beautiful movie. Number 2, Arrival. This is a science fiction movie that really makes you think twice. It leaves you wondering about your life and your own reality and stuff. And I love movies that leave you wondering at the end. I'm not saying wondering about the story itself, but as in just it makes you question life in a good way. Now I have to say the real selling point of this movie for me was Amy Adams. I am not always the biggest fan of her. I don't think she's that great of an actor. But in this movie, I think she really, really did an amazing job. And Denis Villeneuve, his ambition is shown in the movie, but not only is his ambition shown, you see the final payoff, and it's great. You can see that he really drives this movie home, and I think he's gonna be one of the big directors, give or take a couple years. I think in about 10 years, he will be one of the best directors in Hollywood. Number 1, okay, this movie actually surprised me when I put it as number 1, but I realized I really like this movie, and that is La La Land. This movie, I'm not always the biggest fan of musicals. I just haven't really been a big fan of them ever since I was younger. But I have to admit, I really enjoyed this movie. Emma Stone again proves that she is one of the best actresses in the business today. And I have to say, this movie just leaves you happy. When you come out from seeing this movie, you're in such a good mood. And I have to say, the music in this movie really good. In the theater, you're tapping your foot and you're going along with the music because it's really good. It's catchy. It leaves you. Really brings you into the movie with the music, and it's a love letter to Hollywood. Now, usually when you say that about a movie, it's not always the best thing. Sometimes it really is a love letter, and too much of a love letter is not an actual movie. But La La Land actually is a great movie and a love letter to Hollywood. Okay, guys, so that's my list for the best movies of 2016. Now, I have to ask you guys, what is your guys' favorite movie of 2016? Comment below and let me know. And as also, if you guys have not seen my 8 worst movies of 2016, then click right there to watch it. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter at SethFloyd310. And as always, may the force be with you.